This is a compounding contracts example of a person using their $100,000 policy premium in order to compound their contracts into 4 policies, totaling $250,000 worth of premium to the insurance company each and every year. Let's look at how it gets done. In the very first year, they have one $100,000 policy premium, which provides $54,000 of cash value. In the second year, again, one $100,000 policy premium that provides $57,000 of cash value, and they're going to use $50,000 of that money in order to start their second premium. Again, they've only come out of pocket with $100,000. In the third year, they'll use $100,000 again for policy number 1. That will produce $91,000 worth of cash value. They'll use $50,000 worth of that money to fund policy 2. They'll use what's remaining from policy 1 and some of the cash from policy 2 in order to fund a $50,000 policy for policy number 3. Again, coming out of pocket with $100,000, now giving the insurance company $200,000 per year. In year number 4, $100,000 again for the first policy. That policy provides $102,000 of cash value. They'll use $50,000 of that for policy number 2 and $50,000 of that for policy number 3. They'll use the cash value from policy number 2 to actually start policy number 4 for $50,000. $100,000 out of pocket, $250,000 sent to the insurance company. In the 5th year, they'll take $40,000 for policy number 1. They've decided to drop their paid up additions on their policy premium. If you're not familiar with that yet, stay tuned. We have that information in a few of our other lessons and classes. Make sure you understand what's happening there. So in policy number 1, $40,000 is their policy premium deposit. $53,000 is available. They'll use $50,000 of that to start policy number 2 to pay for policy number 2, $50,000 from that policy to pay for policy number 3, $50,000 from what's left over from policy 1 and 2, and the money from policy 3 to fund policy number 4. The total out of pocket in that 5th year is $90,000, a little under $100,000. Now in the 6th year, they'll actually pay $110,000 out of pocket. $40,000 for the first policy provides cash value of $56,000. $20,000 for policy number 2 provides cash value of $26,000. $50,000 for policy 3 provides cash value of $50,000, and $50,000 in policy 4 provides cash value of $46,000. As you can see, they've used $100,000 every single year, on or about, to fund their policy premiums. And in doing so, they've generated and compounded their contracts from 1 to 4 policies. If you look at our comprehensive sheet that does list the take-home cash after the policy premiums are paid, you'll notice that 10 or 20 or 30 years down the road, their $100,000 that they're putting into the policy is generating $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $600,000 of take-home cash after all of the policy premiums are paid, just because they're using their policy and compounding their contracts in order to provide more wealth, generational wealth, and income for their families.